Welcome, my brothers. Good morning. If it is a good morning, you already know who it is. I'm D. This is the Future Fathers FF podcast. Yes, thank you very much, my brothers. Thank you very much. Yo, bros, you got no idea what's coming this week. I'll tell you something. I got some stuff ready to go. Anyway, as I already said, good morning, because it is morning when I'm recording this one. I just got done watching a video, Abba and Preach. Yeah, I'm happy that I saw this video this morning because it gave me the inspiration to do this. Now, the video that I saw was on bullying. Yeah. This is a topic that I'm going to keep bringing up on my channel and on my podcast because it is something that is, I can imagine, close to a lot of us that's listening, or a lot of you that's listening. It's a subject that's very close to me as well. So, my brothers, the question I'm asking you is, how do you and would you deal with bullying as a parent? Because obviously, I'm going to say obviously because this is an obvious statement. Some of you out there, some of us have been bullied in our lives. And we obviously know it's not something that is, it's not nice. It is not nice. Especially when bullying, as I see it, has changed in such a way that when I was younger and when I was getting bullied, bro, that stopped when I got home. That really did. Because it's not like today. Youths today, bro, they can't hide at all. They cannot hide at all. Social media follows them home. Yeah? Their bullies are on social media. They know them. They know almost everything about them. They're posting stuff about your children, our children. Not mine, I can't say that about mine. Actually, I don't know that. I should ask them if that's ever happened. But, you know, it's a subject that is very close to me because I was bullied at school. And obviously it was not a nice experience. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, it was alright. No, being bullied is not something that is conducive to anybody's childhood at all. At all. It's belittling. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel inadequate. As Preach said on the video that I watched this morning, bro, at that age, you don't even like yourself because of what's going on. Your body's changing, you're changing as a person, people are looking at you differently, people around you are changing. It's a weird time in your life, an extremely weird time in your life. And adding an element of bullying into anybody's childhood, that ain't cool. It's not, it doesn't help. Now, I had a thought, and it's a personal thought. I'm going to bring this up with my brother, and we're going to have a conversation with my brother about it as well. And probably a couple other men that I got lined up to do certain things. There are bullies in people's lives that change their whole life. And then you get people that are bullied and it doesn't really affect them. It may happen one time. I can't say they get bullied because consistent bullying will affect you. Maybe it happens one time and the situation is dealt with, boom, there and then, and it doesn't happen again. And the thought I had was, now I know that a lot of people's not going to agree with me on this, but I have to say it because somebody else will say it. Some bullying kind of, it molds you into being a harder person. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying it's okay at all. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not even saying it's fair, because it's not. Life isn't fair. Our children being bullied is not fair. But I know somebody out there is going to say, no, some bullying's okay, because, it helps them build backbone. No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I don't know how any of you are going to feel about that statement, but as I was saying, it was a fault that I had, and I've got to involve all my faults. I have to make sure that I at least think about every aspect. Somebody's going to say it. Somebody is going to say it. Somebody who hears me say this or listens to any podcast, video they watch, anything, any media that they consume that talks about bullying on the subject, somebody out there in the world is going to definitely say, no, some bullying's okay. No, it's not. It's really not. Those kind of people, have probably never been bullied. As I said, I was bullied at school, and I'm talking primary school, so this is early on. It was late into primary school. It was, excuse me, I was only 10, 11 when this happened. So it's like year 5, 6. In England, I'm talking about, which is why I gave you the age as well. So you can work it out for America, Canada, wherever else. So I was about 10, 11. And I'm saying about 10, 11 because it went on for a little while. And bro, every day, this boy would kick man down the stairs. Like every day, I'm talking every day. It just, one day it happened out of the blue, and then it just happened all the time. Until I went home one day, I got into trouble because somebody said something and I lashed out. My mum was subsequently told about the incident, and she was brought into the school. When I was confronted, the teacher said to me, "Oh, well, why did you do that?" And I just said, because I was angry. My mum was like, "What do you mean?" Because she was angry. And I sat there for a moment and I was like, well, I was a bit upset. And then I stopped. Didn't say anything else. And I wouldn't say anything else. So the teacher spoke to my mum spoke to the teacher, we went home. Obviously, you all know, with a black mum, by this point, I'd already said too much. I can't go back on my word and say, oh, well, you know what, blah, blah. So anyway, we got home. My mum sat me down. She said, what happened? So I explained to her, this boy kicked me down the steps. It happens all the time. Why didn't you say nothing when you was in the school? Which is exactly what I tell my own youths. Because why didn't you say anything at that time when you was being questioned about it? It would have been sorted out then. Anyway. So, told my mum, explained to her what happened, went back into school. The next day, my mum went absolutely mad. I didn't understand it at the time. Even before this, now I'm talking long before this, I'm talking like 7, 8, 9. I was at another primary school, and there was a boy there who I thought was a friend, and there was a day where he actually said something to me. It wasn't that he was bullying, it was something that he said to me, and believe it or not, to this day, and I'm 40 years old, that stuck with me. Children can be really hurtful to each other. Extremely hurtful to each other. And they have no idea of the lasting consequences of what they say or do. This is where we come in as parents. Or should I say, we're always involved anyway. But at this point, this is when you try to teach your child, no. Your actions have consequences. No matter what they are. If it's a good action and you have a good consequence, then this is where you start leading into things like good jobs, being able to buy a house, passing your driving license. These are good things that lead you into better things. When you are put in or should I say bad circumstances lead to bad consequences lead to bad circumstances. You know what I'm trying to say. And for me, bullying is not. I think what I'm trying to get out is, after explaining what I just explained to you about my own experience, knowing how something that you say to somebody could stay with them for their entire lives. Now, obviously, I can't say my entire life, because give thanks to the Most High, I'm still here. I'm yet to experience certain things, and I haven't left yet. So I can't say my whole life. I can say up until this point, yes, it has. I will say it stayed with me, but it hasn't affected me for a very, very long time. Obviously, certain things people say will stay with you forever. It's not going to leave you. Something happened to you, so it will stay with you forever. But the time that it affects you for may vary. Now, children don't know that. Children don't understand that. And I'm talking small children. I'm not talking like college age. 17, 18, 19, 16, 17, 18. From 16 up. Yeah, there we go. From college age. Because bullying then is kind of different. You kind of know a little bit more about yourself, and you're in an environment where other people choose to be there. It's not like school. So, under those circumstances, bullying affects people. I would say it affects them more. Or should I say, it affects them more when they're younger. When children are vulnerable, at their most vulnerable time in their life, because they're growing, they're learning, they're adapting to their surroundings, they're trying to absorb as much information as they can about the world, themselves, their family, everything. So school age. And when they're that age, we know, as parents, certain things they don't listen to, certain things they do listen to. And it always seems to be the bad things that stick with children. I can say the same thing about myself, because even now, as a big man, you know what? There's certain things people will say to me. It's easier for me to brush things off, but there's certain things people will say to me, and I'll be like, wow, really did you have to say that? Or I might not even say nothing, and it will stick with me. But this is what I'm saying. We know how powerful our words are, and children have no idea of that. None. So when they say things, they don't know that it's going to stay with somebody. To them, you said something today, tomorrow's another day. And the school system doesn't really do too much to rectify the fact that bullying does actually happen. Now, I know the school that my missus works in, they are extremely hard on bullying. And I'm talking like they don't tolerate it at that school at all. Which is good, because the children get an opportunity to be children. They learn, they're happy, they're in an environment that they want to be in. But that's not every school. Sorry, that's not every situation. Not everywhere can be like that. And I think the worst thing in that is, as a parent, taking your child to school, you're not really aware or sure of that whole environment in the school. Because the children are one thing, the teaching staff is completely different. Because you will get some schools where teachers will be like, "Oh, don't worry about it." I don't know whether that's more prevalent today as it was when I was in school. Because I tell you what, when I was in school, certain teachers would just tell you, "Oh, come on, we're off thicker skin. That shouldn't be bothering you." Or as most people would say, "Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me." That is a lie. Yeah, that is a lie. Words do actually hurt you, and they stay with you just as long as, physical things do. Certain physical things will heal and you won't even see them. Words, you don't see them either, but they replay in your head quite consistently. And I'm not going to sit here in front and be like, "Oh, do you know what? Bullying's a bad thing. You shouldn't bully people. It's terrible because what you do lasts with people." Do you know what? I bullied people at school as well. When I was a lot older than I mentioned, my bullying happened to me, but it's a choice. Because at that point, I was like, no one's bullying me again. I'm not going to say it didn't happen again, yeah, but at that point, it was like, no, I'm not going to let people do that to me. And the friends you surround yourself with, or should I say the friends children surround themselves with, those friends either emulate what you're saying, what you're thinking, feeling and doing, or they kind of guide you towards doing the same things. I'm not saying that it's any better at all. Do you know what? I wish I had the opportunity to say to the guy that I used to bully, I wish I had the opportunity to apologize. Didn't go on, well, yeah, it did go on for a while. It did go on for a while. It was a couple. I say it was only a couple years, Yes, it was a couple years. It wasn't every single day. I was one of those guys at school, because I was a lot smaller than people, because I was a lot quieter than people. I was the guy, yeah, go on, until it got to the point where I didn't realize my own strength, and people were like, "Yeah, you go on, no, don't worry, it's okay." And I kind of felt like, oh, yeah, all right, these guys like me for some reason, obviously, because there's things that I can do that they can't do. I'm not gonna say I'm a big dude, because I'm not big by any means at all. I'm not tall, I'm not thick, yeah? But I know how to handle my body. It's as simple as that. I know what I'm capable of. And over the years, it's gotten more apparent that, or should I say, I've learned a lot more about myself and using my own body. But that is how you grow. Children have no idea what they're capable of, yeah? I see I can't say it was bullying, but it was an incident where one boy didn't like an ex-boy and he punched him in the face and burst man's face open. I'm talking like boxing punch, where the corner of man's lip, like up towards his cheek, whole face like open. This is in school. And then witnessed this, and I'm like, "Wow, okay, so that can actually happen." Now imagine a child that is being bullied every day and is having to suffer that every single day, but they're scared to show their parents when they go home, and they sit down and they wonder about that. I've got to suffer this again tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and so on and so on, until they get to a point where they feel to themselves, "I cannot suffer this anymore. I do not wish to suffer this anymore." And unfortunate circumstances take place. Now, self-deletion, yeah, is not anything be frowned at all. Especially when it comes to children. They are our future. Schools should definitely be doing more to stop bullying. We, as parents, need to inform our children of the long-lasting effects that bullying has on people, other children, because it doesn't stop. You may grow older, but bullying doesn't stop. It just changes and takes a different form. But children, especially now in the 21st century, with social media, and almost every child has a phone, they almost have no chance of escaping their bullies. None. As I said to you before, most of their bullies know them on social media. People will give them information. You know, Abba and Preach said it. Like, giving your child a phone nowadays is not just giving your child a phone. It's giving them a device that unlocks the ability, well, these are my words, it's a device that you give your child that unlocks the ability to interact with the world around you, but also it gives the world around you the ability to look at you in a way that is not just to look at you, just to look at you. And not everybody's gonna like what they see. And social media has made it okay that anyone can say what they like. That's not alright, man. Children, I don't think that, I've always said it, I don't think children should have phones. I've mentioned this before. Children are too young to have a phone. They don't understand the use of a phone. Yeah, for me personally, this is my personal experience. You see phone boxes. When you had to go to the phone box and remember someone's phone number in your head, and you had to use money, you had to know how much money you had to put in the phone box to be able to have a conversation, or at least let somebody know what's going on. That was better. Because now, I got your phone is literally to show the world what you're doing. That is, it's not to call somebody. It's not to make sure that, you know, I'm contactable or your child is contactable. It's not for that. It's your child. It's a device for your child to show off to the world. And unfortunately, a lot of our children have been sucked into this world. Can't hide it, can't get away from it. So, you know, you have to make sure that they're catered for. You have to make sure that they got the same or similar stuff to everybody else, so they're not bullied about the devices that they have, or the clothes they wear, or the shoes they have, or what devices they got in their house. Like, how is it other people know what you got in your house? How is it other people are telling you, oh, you should have this and you should have that? And youths are worried because, you know, they don't have it. And we as parents are like, no, we need to provide this for our children. We need to make sure they got this, that, and the other, and the third. Do you know what? We need to make sure they got food and water, clothes and shelter, and education. That's just me. But I'll bet you any money that ain't just me. There's a whole heap of people out there saying exactly the same thing I just said. But we as parents that lived like that want more for our children. We make sure our children have a little bit more. And in doing that, not to be funny, but we're feeding into the cycle because, so your child comes home and they're like, so I see these new trainers, everyone's got them, or the new game's out, but everyone's playing it. You want to disappoint your child? No, you don't want to disappoint your child, but at the same time, you know your pocket can't take that, but you will make sure the child gets. So they're not put in a position where you know they can be looked at funny. Why is that? Because you know what it is as a parent. You know, they'll get bullied for that. Even though you may not put it in a class of bullying, you still know in your head. You still know. Okay, so right. If everyone's playing it, if everyone's doing this, everyone's wearing this, I'm not going to make you be left out. As parents, we know the effect of bullying. Children don't know that. So we have to make sure that they kind of see it before they know it. And trying to put them in a better position, sometimes it ain't the best of things. Because they become the bullies. I've got this, you ain't got that. You ain't nothing. I got the latest phone. I got the latest trainers. Look at my... There's a balance. I'm always mentioning a balance. There is a balancing act, and it's a catch-22. Do you give your child too much so they become the bully, or do you not give them enough so they are bullied? But how much is not enough? Where is that line? We don't know. We just got to look out for our own and make sure that, you know what? My child knows this, and this. And then we need to come together as parents, as dads. We need to discuss, right? This, and this. We share the information and we give it to our children. That way our children know everything, and it all comes from us as parents. We're aware of what's going on. We can inform the higher ups. They can inform the people above them. And the schools need to do exactly the same thing. Because nobody wants their child in a situation where their child is thinking for themselves, I can't do this no more. Excuse me. This ain't for me. No. We don't want that. None of us do. So we keep this conversation going. This is bullying part 1. How do you or would you deal with bullying as a parent? So my brothers, this is just something for you to take with you. Just a little food for the brain this morning. My brain's been ticking over. So do you know what? I'm passing it on to you guys. Talk to your brothers, talk to your brethren, everybody that you know, or everybody that you can get the opportunity to talk to about the same subject. Get it out there, get it known, get people saying, no, it's not okay. Because it's not. We don't want it no more. And nobody needs it. So my brothers, sorry there man, I had to sip my coffee. As you can tell, my throat is dry. Turn the heat off, innit? Warm now, warm. Bros, our children need to know that when they go to school, it's a safe environment to be in. It's the best place for them. It's where they get their education. Their mentors are there. They don't need to be thinking to themselves, I cannot go to school because Bob's there. Jimmy's gonna hit me again. So-and-so's gonna kick me down the stairs. Lee's gonna try and do this to me. Sarah's gonna do blah, blah, blah. All of these different things, none of us want to even think about. We don't want to imagine. We don't want to imagine these things happening to our children. We need to be aware that these things do happen to our children and around our children. They may not be involved. They may, they may see it visually. That still affects them. It still has an effect on them and will have an effect on their later life. Let's cut that out. Let's make sure it's gone. Talk to your children at home and make sure they know that you got their back no matter what. My brothers, I've been deep. It's the Future Fathers FF podcast. I beg you, stay blessed.